All right. So I'm the founder of Acorn to Oak Media Group, and I founded Acorn in at the end of 2016. So before that, I was in the ad business, and I kind of transitioned to marketing, and email was always a big part of that, and it always will be. I think there's ways to really make your email marketing effective, and to um, send the right messaging to the right audience. When you're advertising, you're directing messaging to the right audience, and with your email marketing, you have a relationship with this audience. They might have subscribed to your newsletters. They know who you are, and this is your opportunity to communicate with them effectively. So it's obviously digital marketing has evolved over the years very rapidly. And email marketing is definitely a crucial part. So it once was like pretty much, the SendPulse or all the different platforms were a tool for sending the email newsletters. And now there are tools available within the platforms that really leverage the analytics and segregation of your audience so that you can deliver personalized content to your followers and your audience that knows you. So one part of that is really building a high quality email list. So you want to have attractive, visible opt-in forms on your site. You also want to mention incentives. In this example here in the screenshot, sign up for exclusive offers and updates. So something that kind of gives them some curiosity and a reason to opt in for that information. Um, the other part of it is, when you're sending an email, a first one, an introductory email or part of a series, you always want to make sure that you have attention getting headlines. So that could include emojis. You want to basically say something that that audience is going to be interested in. And the example that I'm using, it's Zone First. They're an air conditioning damper and zoning product manufacturer. So what they are looking to do is reach an audience of air conditioning companies and contractors to to sell and provide that product to their customers, but they also want to appeal to homeowners. And homeowners in the state of New Jersey where I live and all across the nation have seen a huge surge in energy costs. So we used a subject line that's going to kind of talk about saving energy. And it's a casual sounding kind of subject, and it's the first thing that people will see in their inbox. So you want to, a well-crafted subject line is going to boost your open rates, and then obviously, the more people that are opening your email, the more people who will be engaging with your campaign. So part of that is building an effective email welcome series. So in SendPulse, there's automations. And what we do is we basically have our sign up forms connected to a email list. And then what we have here is when we get a new subscriber into this list, then they get this kind of welcome email where we're asking them to opt in to here, confirm your email. So this is a double opt in so that they can subscribe for offers and news from this company. And we give them a couple of tries. So if they don't click to opt in on that first email, we repeat that process as well. Now, the other part of it is providing valuable content. So offer tips, offers, industry insights. And what that really does is builds trust. So you're coming off as a resource and not that you're trying to sell necessarily to that audience. So in this example here, we are offering an energy savings calculator, and it has a link to the page on the website. And then I can also share the screen too to kind of show how that whole email looks. So this would be a newsletter. We're really featuring an article here We have the learn more that they can click through to the website. Then we have our energy savings calculator. Here we have some products that some of these audiences would definitely be interested in. We have a case study here where we're teasing that article, and to read more, they would need to come to the website. And then we have resources. So this particular email is really targeted to contractor partners, where they can become a partner, they can find product documentation, or here they can schedule a training session. And then, provide that content that's really going to keep subscribers reading. You also want to make sure, and SendPulse has a great tool for this when you're building out your emails, where you can preview it on desktop and mobile. So you can see how everything lays out. Sometimes it may not lay out the way that you want it to look aesthetically, so you can show or hide certain elements on the email. You want to make sure that they are mobile friendly because so many people are opening their emails from their phone. And then really incorporating a clear call to activity. So again, in this example, become a partner, find this documentation. These are all things that are going to boost those engagement rates. And then you'll be able to measure that. So if you can see that, on the reporting for the email, that there's a lot of click-throughs, and you can kind of look on the clicks map on the reporting with SendPulse or on different platforms that really show you which people who read the email are the most engaged, and also in what type of content, which also helps you segment your future emails. Testing and analyzing. So continuously testing the subject lines, the email copy, the design, and the calls to action. And that's really important because you're not going to get it right, get the perfect email to the right, perfect audience person at the, in the very beginning. So this A/B testing is really going to help you kind of, really optimize your email campaigns, as you continue to market to your audiences. Understanding data privacy laws. So there's the GDPR is, the laws that kind of regulate email marketing communications. And with that, there's, a lot of things that there are a lot of reasons why that's important. So we actually have a blog post here where we're talking about maintaining compliance for the email marketing laws, getting familiar with the Can Spam Act, complying with their provisions so that you're not being marked as spam. Legal repercussions for violating the Can Spam Act can be penalties of up to $53,000. So really, to stay compliant, you really need to get that customer consent to send them the marketing emails, offering unsubscribe links, making everything very, very clear. So the other reason that's important is, sometimes we do what's called warming up an audience, is that, your domain, making sure that your settings are, you have the correct DNS settings on your domain for sending purposes, the DMARC records, the records that are needed within your platform. And then, really having low bounce rates on your emails, and really, asking for that permission is going to make the difference between you showing up in someone's focused email inbox or in their junk, or worse than that, spam. So don't get into email jail. And really, just, what I've shared here is kind of like really talking about building an engaged subscriber list, because those engaged subscribers are going to convert into a buying customer. And they'll look forward to your emails. They'll, it's a great tool for keeping them engaged. And if they're happy and engaged, they're going to stay, they're going to keep buying from you, they're going to recommend you, and you're going to have a very good reputation. It also helps position your company and the senders of the emails as, a as a trusted source for information. You want to be a voice that people kind of listen to as far as in your industry. So there's so many different, whether it's a B2B campaign or a B2C campaign, you want to have, your reputation and what you're putting out on email, on your socials, on your website is really, your billboard. So you want to make sure that you're protecting your reputation and your content, making sure your branding is consistent, and really following just some of those basic strategies and using the tools that you have. So there's a lot of AI tools, there's tools within the platforms that are much more sophisticated than even a year or two ago. So, I think there's a lot of features that, a lot of like SendPulse has a lot of features that they kind of introduce regularly that are going to help you along your journey. And that is all that I have for that kind of presentation. So I guess we can kind of open it up to like a discussion about, um, ways to kind of utilize the tools that you have. And I'm going to go back to our screen if I can find it. Here we go. Okay, now I see everyone.
Okay. Thank you very much, Melissa. Thank you for sharing very important things. Yeah, and we've gathered a list of questions our registrant sent us before the webinar. And guys who are here with us, please send your questions to the chat, and we will go to some practical things or some things just you are interested in. So I have a list of questions, and the first question would be, what's your approach to growing an email subscriber base organically?
So definitely, I think there's a lot of ways that you can go about doing that. Really, just with all of your offline and online marketing efforts, and that could be joining chambers of commerce and sponsoring events and having talks and having leave behinds. Obviously, your website, you want to produce content on your blogs and get people to kind of people are going to find your website even just from some of your blog posts if it's content that's relevant to what people are searching for in your social media efforts. Really talk about things that audience will be interested in, and always encourage them to subscribe and give them an incentive. So we have a group that we started on LinkedIn for it's called the Business Incubator. And we created this as a platform, as kind of, a back and forth kind of networking group. But we also, part of that is to connect existing business owners and executives with emerging and new business owners. So businesses of all sizes, especially if you're starting out, having a group of other people that are business owners that are having discussions about things that are important to business owners is a way that we kind of engage with our audiences. So really using your social platforms, publishing content on social, on your website that is really going to, have topics that are going to be interesting, for that audience. So for business owners, for us, obviously we provide marketing and advertising services, but there's so many concerns that small business owners have, especially when just getting started. Their banking, their business banking, business insurance, having the right coverage and policies, HR, hiring employees. Maybe you're hiring employees for the first time, and connecting with existing business owners or executives in the space is going to be a way for you to get mentorship and advice and, have a conversation. These are things that a new business owner might not have considered before. So our goal is to provide content that is going to help them. And that's kind of the way that email marketing is too. You want to provide them, or any marketing content that is going to be valuable to them.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And everything is about inbound. So you call some interest and you understand what audience you are targeting. So, yeah, thank you for your list how to do that. And another question is how do you re-engage inactive subscribers successfully if you do that?
Sure. So I think that sometimes that, you'll have subscribers who are not engaged, and sometimes you might just need to leave them alone because you really need to see if they've engaged at all. They may not be in market for your services. So if that's the case, it's important to still have touches, remind them that you're there, by providing content that would be valuable to them without them having to buy your services. So even just putting out newsletters, even locally, we've done ones where we're talking about networking events that we're going to be hosting that are in the area that other businesses might want to attend. So we'll provide them with information that's not necessarily selling to them. And then that builds that trust so that when they do become in market for your services, or you are able to help them with something that's going to solve their problem, they'll remember you, and they trust content that you've put out there. So they'll be more likely to reach out to you.
Yeah, so we shouldn't remove them from the list and just work to reach out them, and maybe one day they will see something interesting for them that catches their attention.
Right, right.
Okay, thanks. And one more question about AI. What role does AI play in modern email marketing? Maybe what tools you use, and what AI you use, and what do you think about that?
So
What
I think
it can lead to?
Yeah, so I think AI can be very, very helpful, especially with crafting content for email marketing newsletters. So not everybody, especially a business owner or even a marketing director, is always going to have the best way to word content that's going to resonate with their audience. So AI actually helps you research that. So by using ChatGPT, or I mean, there's so many different tools out there. There's ways that you can kind of get ideas for writing that content. You don't want to put out content, especially on blog posts or anything on your website, that's AI generated, because that gets kind of there's AI detectors out there, and Google's had instances and updates where they've de-indexed websites because of that, where they've detected AI written content. So that's an easy way to get off the map. And but really, what you want to do with the AI tools is to really use it as, say, you're putting together an outline for a research paper, and really write the content yourself. But you could ask AI, what type of customer would be interested in my products and services, and what type of content, what type of language and voice should I use when I'm engaging with this audience based on who they are. So I think that, there's a lot of tools like within even, email marketing platforms or social media platforms where you have a caption, and you can suggest AI hashtags based on the content. I mean, it takes minutes to do what could have previously taken a lot longer. So you get more time back into your day, and you can really focus on, what's really important. Um, and I think, like, for any business owner, getting any time back into your day is gold. I think it's worth more than money sometimes.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for your opinion. And you mentioned that there are a lot of opportunities to use AI tools for generating content. What are your favorite tools to use for that purpose? And how not to sound as AI?
So definitely, like a paid subscription to GPT. There's so many that just the AI tools themselves have evolved so rapidly with the different features and ways that you can train it. So I think that really the tools that are going to work best for you are going to be, you really have to test them. So we actually started using Sigma, it's marketing kind of AI little bots. So they have different ones that help with different aspects of your business. It could be hiring, it could be ideas for social media content, it could be project management. So we're starting to explore some of those tools, and those are specific to us because we're an advertising agency. So I think for every business owner, there's tools that are going to be out there that some are going to work better for them, and some are not going to work for them based on what their needs are. So I think it really is kind of an objective, you know, you kind of have to find and test different ones till you find the one that's going to work the best for you. And actually, we use a handful of them. We don't stick to just one tool because we've noticed that some platforms are better at certain things than others, and they could, we might use one tool's platform for generating or helping to generate hashtags and post content, and others for developing briefs or presentations or those different things. So yes, I think it really depends on what purpose you're using it for. So I'm getting pinged right now. I've got my phone on mute, but being a business owner, it's nonstop.
I see.
So yeah, so I mean, it really depends on and also how comfortable you are with it. I mean, a lot of people, especially people who are older, like in my generation, aren't as comfortable with it. And then on the other end of the spectrum, younger people that are just starting out, they think AI is something. And my kids have said it to me. They think it's people in my generation are all over, but they're not as much interested in it. So it really depends on where you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And how not to sound like AI?
I'm sorry.
How not to sound like AI?
Oh, how
If you're a
not to.
test.
Really write it yourself, honestly. So if it's going to be in your voice, I mean, it's okay to kind of generate content ideas and get some structure for your whatever you're trying to say, but put it in your words. I mean, that's really the best way to do it, and use that AI for research purposes and for outlining what you're going to put out there, your structure.
Okay, thank you. And I know that usually some beginners join our webinars, small businesses and specialists who are eager to know how to start with all this stuff. And what are your top 3 tips for beginners starting email marketing from scratch?
So I think that definitely connect with your email provider. There's always help docs and tools. SendPulse is great with their training. There's usually videos to kind of walk you through the steps, and really send test emails. Send emails. Create a test list even where it's people that you're internal to. Before you put it out there to the public, you want to get opinions and really think about the different audiences, what they look like. Really segment your mailing lists into different groups. So it could be brand new customers, it could be returning customers, it could be different. It could be B2B, it could be B2C. So I think it's important to think about those different audiences and what their content needs would be. And then there's always a ton of tools like the templates. We love the templates that are in SendPulse. I know MailChimp has them, Constant Contact, and you can really modify them. And really, it's a drag and drop. You don't need to know HTML. And play around with the design. Really, I think even with some of the tools, you're able to kind of import your branding, your colors, your fonts. Or use fonts that are going to be the closest aligned to your brand, while staying cognizant of the type of content you're putting out there.
Okay, and you touched some content. So, what's the ideal email length for keeping readers engaged, in your opinion?
So definitely try to keep it short and sweet. And for me, even it's so hard because, we want to get so much into a newsletter. And I think that trying to overcompensate and put everything in at once, Gmail clips your emails at a certain amount of characters offhand. I know that SendPulse has a warning when we're creating a campaign, and it's like, there's a lot of things like, okay, so I'll give you an example. I might be able to share this.
You should go with present. Okay, I can see some. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
there we go.
same.
So
Yeah.
this, I just kind of added some more. And then what it does is it tells you this. So your template is 118.7 KB. Recommended size is less than 90 KB. Gmail clips emails that are larger. And then there's things that are going to contribute to that. It could be UTM tags, it could be attachments, it could be headers. And then also this second warning, get recommendations for improving delivery. So this is perfect. The email subject is too short. So I just kind of did like a test. So the recommended email subject is between 6 and 100 characters. Email stop words, so investment. So this, what it says here, do not use or reduce the number of stop words in the email body. So pricing, investment, these could actually cause Google or Microsoft Outlook to flag your email as spam because of that content. So, and then here's another one, too many capital letters. Also, if you have several exclamation points in a row, those are all things that'll send Google and Outlook the alert that your email could be spammy. So that's why that's one of the tools that I really love about SendPulse, because we're not all experts, and SendPulse has the tools to scan your email and look at it and detect, like, this might get flagged. So you might want to change these things before you send it so you don't end up in spam and ruin your email reputation.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, and I can understand what you're saying about, because we using all this stuff
I've been in
always,
SendPulse
and
jail many times. I've not always been happy, but you guys really have our back. And I think I really love that. I think that's one of the reasons that we love using SendPulse.
yeah, thank you very much. I'm not professional too, but I use all those recommendations because it's really helpful.
Yes.
Thank you. And keeping the topic of content, how do you nurture leads or subscribers via email without seeming pushy?
I think that's, really, in the beginning stages, depending on your audience, you really want to not be too pushy or salesy. And if you are having a sale or an event, that's fine. Send out emails to let them know. But really consistently put out, I think, the content that is going to be just valuable to them. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about selling your service, but it could be about, networking events. It could be about things that are going on in the community. I think that's important, especially for local businesses that are trying to engage with other local businesses that show that you're involved in your community. So, and even with B2C customers, if you're doing, events that might help the community, it could be a charity golf outing that benefits, members of your community. It could be local or regional. I think those are important things to really put out there, and it shows you in a good light. It shows that you're a legit company. And people buy from, companies and people they like personally. So if you're out there doing the right thing and um, putting out content that's not spammy, then that's really a way to grow that engagement. Speaking at events like networking events or chamber events, and really working the social and subscribe to our newsletter, building an online community like we've done with the business incubator, are all ways that we can, really keep an engaged audience, and then also get referrals. As people will talk about you if you're doing the right thing. People will look you up, they'll go to their website, and a lot of times they'll sign up on the contact form. That's not a be all or end all. A lot of times people won't sign up on your website to subscribe because people are so busy. But if you connect with people and they're receiving email, even transactional business emails, put something in your email signature, sign up for our newsletter. There's a lot of different ways that you can put that message out there to try to get them to remember to subscribe.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Guys, I can see you are here with us, you are watching, you are listening to us. But I can't see any questions. If you have questions, please let us know. Please text in the chat on YouTube or Facebook, and we will have several minutes to answer. If you have any questions related to your business and tasks, your email marketing, how to start with something or anything else, please leave your questions. One more question. What's the best way to segment subscribers based on a purchase behavior, or how do you manage that?
So I think with your email marketing platform and software, really looking at your reporting on your campaigns. There's going to be certain calls to action. There's going to be links to content that are on your website, and then really being able to see like which subscribers are engaging with which content, and then you're able to kind of segment them. Um, so if it's a certain product or a certain series of products, and you're seeing that, over history, certain people are gravitating towards that type of product or service, then you're able to kind of tag them and then put them into a separate list where, you're able to create emails that are going to engage them even more, so that you can actually direct more relevant content to those different groups of people.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, and we will have about 10 minutes. What trends, Melissa, do you see shaping the future of email marketing? Maybe what we will see in a couple of years. Main trends. Oh, your mic
I'm
is
muted. Sorry. Hold on. Okay. So I think that you'll be able to see, with a lot of the tools and technology that's developing, I think there's going to be ways to really automate your sending and your email marketing. AI is something that's really helped us kind of build recommendations or do research on certain audiences or people that would be engaged with the client's behavior. So I think there's ways to, and again, like Google is the god, and Microsoft, so they have Outlook and Gmail. Those rules could change. So I think like really, you're look to your tools, because the developers of those tools are going to be on top of that. So they'll be developing, updates that are going to be help you stay compliant, like SendPulse does. That it's really, that's all they do. So I think I think we're going to see AI is really, really going to affect things a lot. And who knows how it's going to evolve. So it's still kind of, a new tool. I mean, it's been around forever, but now I think the mainstream, businesses are actually really starting to adapt it more and use it. So with that interest, I think more investment will be made into the technology, and we'll probably see a lot of evolution there.
Okay, thank you. And so email marketing won't die, you think?
I don't think so. I think that, people would say, oh, text marketing, people aren't going to want that, or, but that's not the case. I mean, we have clients that might have a retail store that, or, I have a cannabis dispensary and people want to know about where the specials are and when, so text alerts really help them. Push automations is a cheaper way to do SMS marketing. So you can do that within an app. You can do that. I think there's a lot of ways to kind of communicate with different audiences. So, yeah. So I think that, and again, that's the different types of messaging. Text is short. Hey, we have a special. SMS or web pushes are perfect for that. And again, that segmentation is important because you want to send the right message to the right people based on what they're interested in. But email marketing is more of a soft sell. So that's where you can provide valuable content. A lot of people are, writing their own content, like with a blog post or, certain things like that. So we like to put out newsletters that are going to, provide an array of articles that people might be interested in reading. They might be buying a new home and need to know, you know, what, what tools are out there, what the market's like. Things, change, like electricity bills are huge in New Jersey. So that's something that, everybody's really interested in learning about. So solar energy is really taking off here in the US and everywhere because, people need to save money. The cost of living is certainly very high. So that's something that's going to resonate with people. So the email marketing gives you a platform to reach those people and get that valuable content to them.
Okay, thank you. And I can see that we still don't have any questions in the chat, but we have several viewers here. And so maybe we will conclude. And what three things you would leave us with? And
So I would say, don't be afraid of starting email marketing. If you haven't before, there are a ton of tools out there. Don't be afraid to use AI, but really keep it internal. Don't put it out there as far as your content goes. Really think about the audience that you're trying to engage with, and really provide them with something that's valuable to them and not just selling to them. And really utilize, your offline and online marketing channels. You can put out ads to get people to your website, but you want to make sure that your content is going to be thorough enough and informational enough and really give them what they'd be interested in. So really organizing your strategies as far as your offline and online marketing. Getting out there, online marketing is one thing, but getting out there and being even on a webinar or going to a networking event and being the face of your company is also very important. It's really about building relationships with your customers, with your clients, and your colleagues, your other leaders in your industry. All of these things are going to help you succeed.
I like it so much. Thank you, Melissa, for sharing your tips and insights, your opinion. And thank you all, guys, so much for joining us today as we explored the exciting world of email marketing. And we hope you are feeling inspired, empowered, and ready to take your journey to the next level. If you have any questions after the webinar, please reach out to Melissa. Via LinkedIn, via email. The contacts will be in the presentation. And if you have any more questions and dive deeper into today's topic, don't hesitate to reach out to our experts community. So stay tuned for more smart insights coming your way, and best of luck with your next big venture. Until next time, keep building, keep thriving, and keep rocking it. Catch you later. Take care and stay awesome.
Thank you, Elena.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.